Beloved, feel the weight of this moment settle gently over you. For days now, your spirit has been sensing a change, a whisper, a pull, a quiet awareness that something greater is approaching. That feeling is not imagination, it is heaven aligning your path with purpose. God has been guiding your breath, arranging your movements, and awakening your heart so you would stand right here, at the threshold of revelation. What's stirring inside you is a sacred shift, a divine invitation into the destiny written over your life. Just as Psalm 37:23 says, "The steps of a righteous man are ordered by the Lord." Chosen one, those ordered steps have carried you into this very moment. Feel that gentle pressure in your chest, that holy anticipation you cannot explain. That is heaven reminding you that you were never overlooked. You are never forgotten. Your name has been spoken in places your feet have not yet touched, and the hand of God has begun arranging what your eyes have not yet seen. This message must reach you as quickly as possible because you are entering a breakthrough season that will demand clarity, courage, and alignment. Everything around you has been trying to pull your attention, but God is pulling your spirit. He's calling you closer so He can reveal why the path behind you felt heavy and why the path before you is glowing with promise. Chosen one, breathe deeply and let your soul steady itself. The Lord is not just sending you a word, He is delivering a confirmation. You have been wrestling with questions in silence, wondering why certain doors felt locked, why certain relationships faded, why your peace seemed fragile. But hear this truth rising like light inside you. Nothing was falling apart. Everything was falling into alignment. Destiny alignment always begins with disruption, and you have been walking through a divine recalibration meant to prepare you for personal transformation, financial stability, emotional healing, and a new level of abundance that mirrors your spiritual awakening. And beloved, before we go deeper, let this moment settle in your bones. You are chosen. You are marked for elevation. You carry a wealth mindset heaven has been shaping quietly within you. What you lost was never the end. It was pruning. What you survived was not punishment. It was preparation. And what you are stepping into is not coincidence. It is divine architecture finally revealing its pattern. Chosen one, listen closely, because what I'm about to speak will reach into places of your spirit that even you have not put into words. You have been walking through days that felt stretched thin, nights that carried more weight than rest, and moments where you questioned whether heaven still had its eye on you. But what felt like pressure was not abandonment. It was divine construction. God has been reshaping the interior landscape of your life, preparing you for a breakthrough season that requires a different version of you, a stronger version of you, a wiser version of you. You are never being broken, you are being built. There were nights when your mind replayed conversations that wounded you, and days when your heart felt like it was carrying memories no one else could see. And yet, chosen one, every tear carried purpose. Psalm 56:8 says, "He keeps every tear in His bottle, and heaven has been collecting each one as evidence of your endurance, as seeds of the abundance you are about to walk into." Nothing you survived was wasted. Every disappointment was sharpening your discernment. Every season of loneliness was stretching your capacity to hear God's whisper. Every delay was aligning your path with divine purpose. You began to notice it, didn't you? A quiet unrest rising inside you, a sense that the atmosphere around you no longer matched who you are becoming. That is because the old space cannot contain the elevation God is preparing for you. You are stepping out of cycles that once felt unbreakable. You are rising from patterns that once held you. You are awakening to the truth that your destiny alignment is not waiting for permission from anyone. Heaven already approved your transition. Beloved soul, some of the battles you fought were never about the present moment. They were about the calling on your life, the assignment you carry, the future heaven has ordained. You felt resistance not because you were weak, but because your spirit has always carried weight in the unseen realm. The enemy does not wage war against someone without purpose. The intensity you felt was confirmation of the impact that has been forming inside you. And Chosen One, hear this with clarity. God was not just developing your faith, He was developing your wealth mindset, your emotional healing, your inner stability, preparing you to steward favor without fear, blessing without sabotage, abundance without losing yourself. What He builds in you privately becomes the foundation for what He reveals publicly. There have been moments recently when you woke up without knowing why your spirit felt alert, or why you sensed that something was shifting even though nothing around you looked different. That was the Holy Spirit inviting you into a deeper spiritual awakening. The unseen has been moving faster than the visible. Your steps are being guided even when you cannot trace the route. And Chosen One, this is why the message had to reach you now. Not later, not eventually, now. Because God is about to open opportunities that were once out of reach. Connections that felt impossible. Doors that no human hand could force open. Your elevation has been scheduled and heaven has begun the countdown. Every closed chapter, every silence, every departure was heaven removing what could not travel with you into the next stage of your assignment. Chosen One, stay with me. There is more you need to hear. More heaven is pouring out, and the next words will clarify what your spirit has been sensing. Chosen One, let your heart settle as these words find you. You have been walking through a season where God has been speaking in subtle signs, nudging you through patterns you almost overlooked. The repeated numbers, the sudden stillness in moments you can't explain, the dreams that felt more real than the day that followed. None of these were accidents. They were signals from heaven, markers guiding you through a path designed specifically for your personal transformation. You felt the shift first in your spirit. Before any change appeared around you, something began stirring within you. That restlessness, that quiet pressure, wasn't anxiety. It was God stretching the walls of your inner world because He is preparing to fill it with more than you've ever carried. Breakthrough doesn't begin with visible blessings. It begins with the remodeling of the heart. Destiny doesn't arrive with applause. It arrives with alignment. And you, Chosen One, have been aligning without even realizing it. There were days when you wondered why certain opportunities slipped away at the last moment. Why people you trusted began drifting without warning. Why plans you thought were secure suddenly fell apart. But heaven was not denying you. Heaven was protecting you. Divine purpose will never allow you to anchor yourself in places that cannot sustain the weight who you are becoming. God saw what you couldn't see. He heard what you didn't hear. He knew what you did not know. You asked for elevation, and elevation often arrives disguised as separation. God has been pruning your environment so your destiny can breathe. He has been quieting distractions so your spirit can hear. He has been removing what drains you so your breakthrough season can find you with strength, not exhaustion. And beloved, none of this was random. Every shift was intentional. Every closure was an act of mercy. Think back to the moments when you felt a sudden urge to withdraw from certain conversations, environments, routines. That wasn't mood. That was discernment being awakened. God has been upgrading your inner radar, teaching you to recognize spiritual interference, preparing you to guard the abundance He is about to entrust to you. Your emotional healing has been happening beneath the surface, piece by piece, restoring what life tried to fracture. Chosen One, you've been feeling something rising inside you, haven't you? A sense of responsibility that wasn't there before. A tug towards something bigger than your current surroundings. That is because heaven has begun writing a new instruction over your life. You are stepping into a territory where your presence will carry influence, your voice will carry clarity, and your steps will carry divine authority. And as this elevation unfolds, understand this. Not everyone will recognize the magnitude of what God is doing in you. Some will question, some will misunderstand, some will distance themselves, but do not grieve what falls away. Destiny alignment always comes with reordering. God is not subtracting your life, He's refining your circle so your purpose can breathe. Chosen one, the path ahead of you is clearer than you think. Your spirit has already stepped into the next chapter even before your feet arrive there. And the reason your heart feels heavier some days is because the future is pulling you forward. Heaven is calling you by name. Chosen one, lean in, because the stirring you've been feeling is about to make sense. There comes a moment in every anointed life when God begins to rearrange the unseen before He shifts the visible. That is the season you are living in right now. What felt like confusion was actually divine precision. What felt like delay was heaven synchronizing your steps with a purpose far greater than anything you have imagined. You started to notice the subtle changes first. The way your peace became more protective, the way your spirit grew sensitive to voices that didn't align with truth, the way your heart resisted environments that once felt familiar. These weren't mood swings, these were spiritual upgrades. God has been sharpening your discernment so you won't mistake counterfeits for divine connections. He has been strengthening your inner foundation so the abundance He is preparing won't overwhelm you. He has been cleansing the atmosphere around you because the next level requires clarity, not clutter. Beloved soul, heaven has been watching you grow in ways you didn't even see. You learned to walk through disappointment without losing hope. You learned to survive rejection without losing compassion. You learned to stand in silence without losing faith. That kind of growth cannot be taught by comfort. It is forged in the fire of experience, sculpted by the unseen hand of God, refined like gold in the furnace of pressure. And now, chosen one, you are approaching a divine threshold, the kind that only opens when the heart has been prepared, when the mindset has been renewed, when the spirit is strong enough to carry the weight of destiny. Your wealth mindset has been quietly forming in the shadows, shaped by every moment you chose trust over fear. Your emotional healing has been stitched together through nights when you chose prayer instead of panic. And your spiritual awakening has been unfolding like dawn, breaking over a silent horizon. You may not have realized it, but heaven has already begun shifting the trajectory of your life. The people who drifted were part of the pruning. The opportunities that failed were part of the redirection. The desires that faded were part of the cleansing. God does not remove anything without replacing it with something aligned, something intentional, something eternal. And chosen one, let this reach you deeply. You are not behind. You are not late. You are not forgotten. You are right on schedule. Divine timing is never rushed. Divine timing is never delayed. Divine timing is always perfect. The breakthrough season forming around you is not fragile. It is inevitable. Stay with me, because what comes next will illuminate why your spirit has been so stirred and why heaven needed this message to find you with urgency. Chosen one, let your spirit open wide, because the next layer of what God has been doing in you is deeper than anything you have recognized on the surface. There is a reason your emotions have been more sensitive lately, why simple moments feel heavy with meaning, why conversations linger in your mind long after they end. Heaven has been rewiring the way you perceive your own journey. You're no longer seeing life through the lens of survival. You're beginning to see through the lens of destiny. For a long season, you carried burdens that were never meant to stay with you, expectations that weighed on your chest, responsibilities that stretched your strength thin, silent battles you kept hidden because you didn't want to burden anyone else. But chosen one, God saw every bit of it. He watched you hold yourself together when everything around you felt unstable. He watched you persevere even when your heart was exhausted. He watched you forgive where others would have retaliated, and heaven counted every act of quiet endurance as preparation for elevation. You have been walking through what felt like a wilderness, but in that wilderness, God has been reshaping your inner world. He has been teaching you to separate noise from truth, pressure from purpose, distraction from direction. You didn't realize it then, but every moment of discomfort was pruning what could not follow you into the next realm of assignment. God has been severing spiritual ties that once drained your strength, breaking emotional patterns that once sabotaged your peace, dismantling false identities that once kept you small. And beloved, God never removes without replacing. He never subtracts without preparing multiplication. What you lost in your last season is nothing compared to what heaven is preparing to release. The relationships that faded were making room for divine alliances. The opportunities that slipped away were clearing space for something established by God's own design. The silence you walked through was a sanctuary, not a punishment. It was a holy pause where God whispered strategies into your spirit that will soon become visible breakthroughs. Chosen one, have you noticed how your desires have shifted? The things that once attracted you no longer hold the same pull. The environments that once felt comfortable now feel too small. You find yourself longing for something deeper, something cleaner, something aligned with who you are becoming. That longing is not random. It is your destiny calling you forward. It is heaven adjusting your appetite to fit the abundance that's coming. It is God preparing your heart to steward blessings without returning to old patterns. And now, let's speak to the battlefield inside you. Yes, chosen one, the one you don't talk about. The tug of war between who you were and who you are becoming. The part of you that hesitates when God opens a door because you remember the pain behind the last one that closed. The part of you that wants to trust completely, yet still carries the sting of past disappointments. This inner tension is not a sign of weakness. It is evidence of transformation. You are shedding the weight of old seasons, shaking off the last residue of what once held you. The enemy targeted your confidence because he feared your calling. He knew that once your identity aligned with your assignment, nothing would be able to stop the flow of elevation over your life. And beloved soul, there is more. You have been waking with clarity on random mornings, feeling as if wisdom was poured into your mind overnight. You have experienced moments where your spirit reacts to things before you have time to think. You have felt sudden discernment rising like a quiet warning, or sudden peace settling like an anchor. These are not coincidences. These are spiritual updates. Heaven upgrading your intuition, refining your instincts, strengthening your inner compass so you can navigate the path ahead without fear. Your breakthrough is not coming as a single moment. It is unfolding as a series of alignments, a conversation that opens understanding, a shift in desire that reveals calling, a release of old pressure that makes space for new strength. A divine nudge that pushes you to take steps you once hesitated to take. God is weaving meaning into every detail, even into moments you barely noticed. Chosen one, you carry a calling that has been contested since you were young. The enemy tried to suffocate your voice before it matured, tried to bury your confidence before it blossomed, tried to exhaust your hope before it awakened. But heaven has preserved you. Every battle you survived was evidence that something powerful is written over your life. You are not just moving into a new chapter. You are stepping into a new dimension of purpose, and the spiritual atmosphere around you has already begun to shift in recognition of who you are becoming. And as you keep listening, as you keep leaning in, what comes next will touch the very core of the questions you haven't dared to say out loud. God is not finished revealing what this season means for you. Chosen one. Chosen one, let your heart stay open, because the current of revelation flowing towards you is only growing stronger. There is something heaven has been trying to show you, something you have sensed but not fully understood. It is the reason your spirit has been restless at unexpected hours, why certain memories resurface without warning, why your discernment has sharpened in ways even you didn't anticipate. These are signs that the old season is losing its grip on you, and the new one is beginning to call your name with unmistakable clarity. You may not realize this, but you have been undergoing a deep internal reordering. It's why conversations feel different now. It's why you no longer tolerate half-hearted connections, shallow intentions, or environments that drain you spiritually. You are no longer settling for the emotional crumbs you once accepted out of habit or loneliness. Heaven has been recalibrating your emotional threshold so that only what carries truth, purity, and alignment can reach your heart. This is not you becoming distant. This is you becoming refined. And beloved soul, look closely at the way your patience has changed. In the past, you tolerated chaos because you believed you had to. You endured cycles that bruised your confidence because you didn't realize your value. You accepted instability because you were used to surviving, but now your spirit rejects what your old self tolerated. This is evidence of healing. This is proof of awakening. When God begins restoring identity, He also restores standards. Your elevation requires boundaries, and heaven has been putting them back into your hands, one healed layer at a time. There is something else you need to understand. The season you entered has made your spirit more alert than ever before. You can sense dishonesty in seconds. You feel hidden motives before they are spoken. You recognize spiritual interference before it manifests in the physical. This is because God has been aligning you with a purpose that demands clarity, not confusion. And clarity always comes with a heightened sensitivity to truth. You are not too much. You are spiritually awake. Chosen one, the emotional storms you walked through were never meant to drown you. They were meant to wash away the residue of who you used to be. The pressure you felt was heaven pressing out the last fragments of fear that once shaped your decisions. The heartbreaks you endured were pruning moments, removing attachments that could not sustain your rising destiny. The loneliness you carried was an invitation, not to isolation, but to intimacy with God, an intimacy that would strengthen your spirit for the elevation ahead. Have you noticed how the vision of your future keeps becoming sharper? One moment you feel unsure, and the next moment you feel a sudden surge of direction, a quiet knowing that settles inside you like a seed ready to bloom. This fluctuation is not instability. It is the merging of the old mindset with the new one heaven is building. The transformation of identity is rarely loud. It unfolds in whispers, in nudges, in internal shifts that others cannot understand. But you feel it, the shaping, the stretching, the strengthening, the awakening. You feel the call rising inside you like a tide that cannot be held back. And chosen one, many of the battles you've been fighting lately were never about the present moment. They were prophetic resistance. The enemy attacked your thoughts because he feared your clarity. He attacked your relationships because he feared your alignment. He attacked your confidence because he feared your authority. Every wave of warfare revealed the weight of your assignment. The greater the purpose, the greater the pressure. The deeper the calling, the more intense the shaping. You have been asking God for a sign, a direction, a confirmation that what you feel is real. And heaven has been answering you through patterns you didn't recognize at first. The sudden calm after you pray. The unexpected idea that sparks hope. The warmth in your chest when you speak life instead of fear. The scripture that appears at the exact moment you need strength. These are not coincidences. These are divine markers guiding you step by step into the next level of destiny alignment. Beloved soul, hear this clearly. The version of you who once doubted, hesitated, and questioned everything is fading. A bolder version of you is emerging, a version anchored in identity, guided by purpose, fueled by faith, and equipped for abundance. You may feel the stretching, but you are not breaking. You are expanding, you are rising, you are being prepared for a realm of influence, stability, and spiritual authority that once felt out of reach. Chosen one, Let your spirit stay receptive, because what is unfolding right now is the unveiling of truths heaven has been preparing to release into your heart for years. There is a reason you have been sensing both a heaviness and a holy anticipation at the same time. The heaviness is the weight of what you are releasing. The anticipation is the weight of what is being prepared for you. You're standing in a sacred overlap between what has ended and what is emerging, and this in-between place is where God does some of his greatest work. You may have wondered why your emotions have swung between deep reflection and sudden clarity. It is because the old version of you is dissolving, not disappearing from memory, but losing authority over your decisions. The insecure version of you, the wounded version of you, the silent version of you that once accepted less than what you deserved. That version no longer holds the pen to your future. God has taken it out of the hands of your past and placed it back into your spirit, where purpose can finally guide your steps. Look at how differently you respond to life now. Your spirit no longer collapses under pressure the way it once did. Your mind no longer spirals into panic as quickly as before. Your heart no longer attaches itself to places where it is dishonored. This is not coincidence. This is divine evolution. Heaven has been maturing your inner world, so the blessings coming toward you do not destroy you, overwhelm you, or slip through your fingers again. God always builds the vessel before he fills it. And chosen one, consider the way your dreams have shifted recently. Not the dreams you have at night, but the dreams buried deep inside you. The ones you ignored because they felt too large, too risky, too unrealistic. Suddenly, they've begun resurfacing, not as fantasies, but as possibilities. This is because God is reigniting the assignments he placed in your spirit long before life tried to silence them. The fire you feel rising is not emotion. It is remembrance. Your soul is remembering who you were always meant to be. You've also noticed how your patience for chaos has run out. You no longer tolerate environments that bruise your peace. You no longer stay around people who dismiss your spirit. You no longer shrink to make others comfortable. This is because God has been restoring your inner dignity, reminding you that you are chosen, appointed, and designed for elevation. You cannot carry a breakthrough season with a broken identity. Heaven has been healing you so that what comes next can rest on steady shoulders. And beloved soul, look at how your intuition responds to certain people now. You feel drained around those who do not align with your purpose. You feel energized around those who speak life into your spirit. You feel discomfort in places where your destiny has expired. You feel peace in places where your future can grow roots. This isn't mood. This is discernment leading you toward alignment. Your spirit knows where it is meant to flourish, even when your mind is still catching up. There is something else happening beneath the surface. God has been breaking cycles that you didn't even realize were repeating. Cycles of overgiving, cycles of self-doubt, cycles of emotional exhaustion, cycles of being present for everyone except yourself. He has been cutting spiritual cords that were draining your strength and limiting your elevation. Every no you gave recently, even the quiet ones, was part of heaven restoring authority over your own life. Chosen one, the pressure you feel inside your chest is not fear. It is expansion. It is your spirit stretching into the shape of your calling. It is destiny pushing up against the edges of who you've been, preparing to emerge in ways that will surprise even you. What you are carrying now is bigger than your past, greater than your pain, stronger than your doubts. Chosen one, keep your heart steady, because what is rising in this moment is not merely understanding, it is awakening. You have been walking through a season where every spiritual sense has been heightened, not by accident, but by divine design. Heaven has been increasing your sensitivity because you are approaching a level of purpose that requires you to hear God more clearly, move more boldly, and trust more deeply than you ever have before. there have been moments recently when you felt a sudden shift in your atmosphere, almost like time slowed for a breath. You paused, not knowing why, yet feeling something holy touch your spirit. That pause was not random, it was heaven aligning your awareness. God has been training you to recognize His movement in the subtle things, the quiet prompts, the gentle warnings, the soft confirmation that arrives before your mind has time to analyze. This is how destiny speaks when it begins to mature inside you. And beloved soul, notice how your courage has begun to return. Not the loud courage that demands attention, but the quiet, steady courage that grows roots in silence. The kind of courage that whispers, "Keep going," when your circumstances say otherwise. The kind of courage that rises in your chest when you think about your future, even if you can't yet articulate why. That is the Holy Spirit rekindling the fire that life tried to suffocate. A fire that has survived storms, heartbreaks, betrayals, delays, and nights where you questioned your own worth. Yet here you are, chosen one, still rising. Look at how your priorities have shifted. You're less impressed by appearances and more drawn to authenticity. You're less affected by opinions and more anchored in truth. You're less entangled in chaos because peace has become sacred to you. This is spiritual maturity. This is identity rebuilding itself according to heaven's blueprint. God has been separating you from anything that poisons your clarity, because your next assignment requires a pure heart, not a distracted one. And hear this. The reason some people have fallen silent around you is because your spirit has outgrown their language. They cannot interpret where God is taking you. They cannot understand the stretching of your purpose. They cannot comprehend the elevation being prepared for your life. Their distance is not rejection. It is rearrangement. God is repositioning your connections so your destiny can breathe without resistance. Chosen one, there's a pattern in your recent days that heaven needs you to recognize. Every time you felt drained in certain places, your spirit was warning you. Every time you felt an unexplainable peace in certain moments, your spirit was guiding you. Every time you felt a push toward rest, God was whispering strategy. And every time you felt a sudden rise of strength, heaven was confirming alignment. Your inner world has been speaking with a clarity that only those in divine transition experience. Have you noticed how certain dreams linger longer now? The kind that stay with you after you wake, pulling at your attention like strings tied to your spirit. These dreams are not fragments of imagination. They are spiritual messages, previews of doors that will open, warnings against paths not meant for you, reminders of gifts you abandoned, confirmations of the elevation waiting to unfold. God communicates destiny through dreams when your mind is too tired to argue with His voice. And beloved, look at how your heart has been shedding old fears. Not all at once, but drop by drop, moment by moment. You find yourself releasing insecurities that once controlled your decisions. You are letting go of memories that once defined your identity. You are forgiving yourself for choices you made from wounds instead of wisdom. This release is crucial. You cannot carry old fear into new purpose. Heaven is preparing you to stand in rooms your past self would have been terrified of. Your spirit knows the truth. You are changing. You are rising. You are expanding. You are stepping into the version of yourself God always saw. And that inner pull you feel, the one you can't explain to anyone, is the sound of destiny calling you by name. Chosen one, stay right here in this current of revelation, because what is unfolding next is the part your spirit has been waiting the longest to hear. There is a reason your inner world has felt like it's stretching in every direction at once. You are not being pulled apart. You are being expanded. Heaven is enlarging the capacity of your soul so you can carry the weight of your next level without collapsing under its blessing. You've begun to feel it in subtle ways. Your tolerance for meaningless conversations has vanished. Your interest in shallow pursuits has dimmed. Your heart no longer resonates with people who operate from fear, envy, or confusion. Instead, you feel drawn toward authenticity, toward purpose, toward anything that carries the frequency of truth. This shift is not personality change. It is spiritual elevation. When God prepares you for destiny alignment, He restructures your appetite. What once fed you can no longer sustain you because your spirit now hungers for things that build, not drain. Things that heal, not harm. Things that elevate, not distract. And beloved soul, look at how your strength has changed. You no longer break the way you used to. The situations that once shattered you now feel manageable. The storms that once overwhelmed you now feel like mere winds. That is not because life became easier. It is because your foundation became stronger. You survived nights where your heart felt like it was collapsing under its own weight. Yet somehow, you rose again. You survived seasons where everything in your life felt delayed. Yet somehow, you still believed. You survived moments where you felt unseen, unheard, and uncelebrated. Yet somehow you kept pouring love into others. This resilience is not ordinary. It is supernatural evidence that heaven has been fortifying your spirit for a greater assignment. Chosen one, you need to understand the magnitude of what God has been preparing inside you. There is a mantle on your life, a calling that carries weight, influence, impact. That is why you have always felt different, even when you tried to blend in. That is why you sensed things others ignored. That is why your heart broke deeper, your healing took longer, your battles cut sharper. Callings that shift atmospheres create pressure before they create purpose. You are being refined, not punished. Have you noticed the way silence feels different now? Before, silence felt like emptiness. Now it feels like clarity. You are beginning to hear God in ways you never recognized. Before, not always through loud confirmations, but through subtle impressions, sudden peace, unexplainable knowing. This is the maturing of your spiritual hearing. God has been uncluttering your inner world so you can discern His voice without interference. That is why certain distractions disappeared. That is why certain people were removed. That is why certain opportunities dissolved before you could grasp them. Heaven was removing noise so revelation could flow. And beloved, pay attention to the synchronicities appearing around you. Repeated numbers, familiar verses resurfacing, words spoken by strangers that echo your private prayers. These are not coincidences. These are divine breadcrumbs marking the path toward your breakthrough season. God is confirming that you are not walking blindly. Every step you take is guided. Every shift you feel is intentional. Every pull in your spirit is synchronized with a higher plan. You have also felt a renewed fire inside you, a growing refusal to settle for anything beneath your calling. This fire is holy. It is the same fire that pushed Moses to turn toward the burning bush, the same fire that stirred Esther to rise for her people, the same fire that led David into his destiny. When heaven calls someone higher, the soul begins to reject anything that keeps them small. You're in that stage now. You're outgrowing environments that can no longer contain your growth. Chosen one, hear this. You are closer to your next level than you think. That pressure you feel is not the end. It is the birthing of purpose, the expansion of capacity, the preparation for abundance, financial stability, spiritual authority, emotional restoration, destiny alignment. Heaven is orchestrating every detail. Chosen one, let this next wave of truth settle into the deepest parts of you. There is a reason your spirit has been sensing movement even when your circumstances appear still. The stillness around you has been sacred, not stagnant. God often quiets the outer world when He is working intensely in the inner one. You have been in a divine incubation period where unseen shifts have been forming like light behind a curtain, preparing to break through when the time is right. You've started noticing that certain thoughts arrive with a weight you can't ignore. Ideas, strategies, directions that seem to appear out of nowhere. Yet they carry a divine clarity, as if they didn't come from your mind, but from your spirit. That is because heaven has been releasing instructions in advance, seeding your future inside your imagination so you recognize it when it appears. These quiet downloads are not random, they are blueprints. Beloved soul, have you realized how differently your heart responds to conflict now? Instead of reacting, you pause. Instead of absorbing pain, you question its source. Instead of shrinking, you stand taller inside yourself. This is the sign of someone stepping out of old cycles. The emotional patterns that once controlled you are losing their power because God has been strengthening the core of your identity. The places where you once bent under pressure, you now hold firm. The situations that once drained you now reveal themselves for what they are. Distractions that cannot survive your awakening. And chosen one, look at how your perspective has been evolving. You no longer view your past as evidence of failure, but as layers of training. You're beginning to understand that every heartbreak sharpened your empathy. Every setback cultivated your endurance. Every betrayal refined your discernment. Nothing was wasted. Heaven has turned every wound into wisdom, every delay into development, every disappointment into direction. You may not see the full picture yet, but your spirit feels the nearness of what's coming. The way your heart quickens at random moments. The way peace rises even when your mind doesn't know why. The way you sense that your next chapter requires more space, more courage, more faith. These are signals. These are spiritual contractions. Purpose is pressing forward. Chosen one, the atmosphere around your life is changing because the assignment on your life is expanding, and you are being prepared, shaped, and strengthened for a level of abundance, clarity, and authority you are always meant to walk in. Chosen one, take a slow breath and let your spirit settle, because what comes next is not just instruction, it is activation. You have walked through refinement, revelation, and awakening. Now heaven is guiding you into the steps that will anchor this breakthrough season so nothing can steal, dilute, or delay what God has prepared for you. These steps are not tasks, they are alignments. Every action you take in this part of your journey becomes a signal to heaven that you are ready for elevation, stability, abundance, and the full unveiling of your divine purpose. The first step heaven is placing before you is recalibrating the inner atmosphere of your life. Before blessings arrive externally, peace must be established internally. Set aside intentional moments each morning, even if only a few minutes, to let silence wash over your mind. This silence is not emptiness, it is sacred space where God whispers direction. In that quiet, speak truth over yourself. My steps are guided, my mind is clear, my spirit is aligned. These declarations may feel simple, but they shift the frequency of your day and open your heart to divine instruction. Next, chosen one, begin releasing what is cluttering your emotional world. You cannot carry unresolved burdens into the realm God is preparing for you. If there are memories that rise with heaviness, acknowledge them without letting them rule you. If there are names that still sting, speak forgiveness, not for their sake, but for your liberation. Emotional healing is not forgetting. It is removing the thorn so the wound can close. Heaven cannot pour abundance into a heart that still leaks pain. You are not meant to drag yesterday into a tomorrow filled with purpose. Another step heaven urges you to take is guarding your atmosphere with intentional boundaries. Not every voice deserves access to your spirit. Not every opinion deserves a seat at your table. Not every invitation deserves your presence. When you feel drained after speaking to someone, that is information. When your peace tightens around certain environments, that is revelation. When your spirit whispers, "Step back," that is protection. Honor these signals. They are the tools God uses to guide you toward personal transformation and away from spiritual interference. And beloved soul, begin preparing your physical space as well. Order in your surroundings creates clarity in your spirit. Clean the corners you've ignored. Release items tied to old seasons. Remove anything that carries emotional residue from a chapter God has already closed. When you make space externally, heaven responds internally. This act isn't about tidiness, it is prophetic alignment. Your environment becomes a declaration that you are making room for what God is sending. One more step, reawaken your voice. Speak life over your path, even when you cannot see the next step. Speak provision, even when resources feel thin. Speak healing, even when emotions still tremble. Speak destiny, even when doubt tries to rise. Heaven responds to faith-filled sound, and when your voice aligns with your calling, your future begins to accelerate toward you. Chosen one, as this shift unfolds, type "I rise now" in the comments as a declaration of your readiness to embody these steps. Let the act itself be an anchor that grounds your spirit in forward movement. Chosen one, now that your inner world has begun to align, heaven is drawing you into the next layer of practical guidance, the kind that transforms intention into movement and movement into manifestation. What God is preparing for you requires not only an awakened spirit, but a disciplined pulse. Each action you take becomes a thread woven into the blueprint of your destiny, guiding you toward the abundance, stability, and elevation Heaven has already ordained. Begin with this. Create a rhythm of prayer that matches the weight of your calling. Not rushed words, not habitual recitations, but moments where your spirit becomes still enough to hear, soft enough to receive, and bold enough to respond. When you pray from alignment, heaven puts strategy in your hands. Ask God each morning, "Guide my steps today," and throughout the day notice the quiet pulls, the sudden clarity, the unexpected peace. These are answers in motion. Next, chosen one, take intentional action toward the dreams God has placed in your heart. Destiny does not respond to passivity. It responds to movement. If a vision has been stirring inside you, a project, a calling, a path you've hesitated to pursue, begin with the smallest step. Research, write, plan, prepare. Heaven multiplies what you move toward. Purpose becomes clearer when faith becomes active. Another step heaven is urging you into is releasing emotional debts, the invisible burdens you've carried from past seasons, the resentment that hides beneath old conversations, the worry that lingers after old disappointments, the fear that grew from past failures. These emotional shadows have weighed on your decisions long enough. Declaring release out loud may feel simple, but it tears down invisible walls inside you. Say it gently but firmly. I release what no longer belongs to my future. In that release, emotional healing begins to breathe. And beloved soul, God is calling you to strengthen your financial wisdom as part of your breakthrough season. This is not about fear. This is about stewardship. Set aside what you can, even if small. Track what drains your resources and what builds them. Ask heaven for clarity in every decision. When God prepares someone for abundance, He trains their mindset first. A wealth mindset isn't greed, it's responsibility, it's readiness. It's knowing that provision flows where purpose is honored. Another powerful step. Protect your peace as if it were treasure. Peace is not passive. Peace is a weapon. It is spiritual armor. Anything that threatens it is not simply an inconvenience. It is interference. When your peace hesitates, pause. When your peace lifts, walk away. When your peace expands, lean in. Peace is one of God's clearest confirmations and one of his strongest warnings. Finally, chosen one, begin declaring alignment into your daily life. Speak it before you feel it. My spirit is aligned. My path is clear. My provision is assured. My destiny is unfolding. As these words leave your lips, heaven meets them with motion. And beloved, before we transition, write "I choose destiny" in the comments to seal your agreement with these steps. Chosen one, now that your path is being shaped through discipline and alignment, heaven is guiding you into one of the most powerful realms of transformation, the realm of connection, confession, and community. What God is releasing in your life is not meant to be carried in isolation. Even though your pruning season felt lonely, it was never meant to end in loneliness. It was meant to prepare you for relationships that match your calling, voices that strengthen your spirit, and environments that breathe life into your purpose. The first invitation heaven is placing before you is this: become intentional about the atmosphere you surround yourself with. Every voice that speaks into your life plants something: confidence or doubt, peace or confusion, clarity or chaos. Be discerning with conversations. Notice which voices make your spirit rise and which make your spirit shrink. The people meant for your next chapter will recognize your growth, not resent it. They will honor your elevation, not compete with it. They will speak life into your journey, not drain the strength from it. Next, chosen one, practice speaking your truth before heaven. Not the polished version you show others, but the raw truth you hide behind strength. Confession is not weakness, it is clarity. When you speak honestly before God about your fears, your frustrations, your dreams that feel too big to admit, heaven responds with precision. The Holy Spirit fills the space your honesty creates. When you say, "Lord, this part of my heart is wounded," He begins to heal it. When you whisper, "I am ready for what you have prepared," He begins to open doors. Confession aligns your inner world with your spiritual awakening, allowing your destiny to unfold without resistance. And beloved soul, this next step is crucial. Write down what God is revealing to you. Not because you might forget, but because writing creates clarity. Insights that feel scattered become direction when placed on paper. Patterns become visible. Prompts become instructions. Promises become anchors. Keep a notebook for the ideas, impressions, dreams, and quiet urgings that rise in your spirit. This is not journaling. It is partnering with heaven. It is acknowledging that revelation is being entrusted to you and must be stewarded with care. Another layer heaven is highlighting is creating spiritual accountability. Not with many, but with the right one or two. Someone who sees your value. Someone who honors your spirit. Someone who can remind you of truth when your emotions try to rewrite the moment. Destiny-aligned connections carry weight because they help you remain steady when warfare intensifies and focused when distractions appear. Heaven sends people to reinforce what God is building in you. And chosen one, there is a sacred practice that will accelerate your transformation. Declare your identity out loud every day. Say truths your past never gave you. I am chosen. I am protected. I am aligned with purpose. I am walking into elevation. Your voice is a spiritual instrument. When you speak identity, your atmosphere shifts. Your confidence rises. Your destiny draws closer. Heaven responds to the sound of someone who knows who they are becoming. And before this flow settles, beloved, let your voice join this movement. Write "I claim my breakthrough" in the comments as your affirmation of this next stage of transformation. Chosen one, step gently into this next layer, because heaven is now guiding you into the kind of practical alignment that transforms your daily life into sacred ground. What comes here is not complicated, but it is powerful. These are the steps that shift atmospheres, recalibrate mindsets, and open doors that once felt sealed. Heaven is preparing you not only to receive blessing, but to sustain it, spiritually, emotionally, and practically. The first instruction for this stage is, learn to treat your peace as direction, not decoration. Peace is not simply a feeling. It is one of God's most reliable signals. When something is aligned with your destiny, peace will rise like warm light in your spirit. When something is off, peace will withdraw. Do not override this signal with logic, fear, or obligation. Let peace become your internal compass, your silent yes and your holy no. It is impossible to walk into divine abundance while ignoring divine guidance. Next, beloved soul, practice the discipline of spiritual decluttering. Every morning, release the weight that tries to follow you from the day before. Say quietly, "Today, I walk in clarity." This resets the emotional atmosphere of your spirit. Throughout the day, when intrusive thoughts rise, meet them with scripture, even if spoken softly. When anxiety whispers, respond with Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. When fear tightens, answer with Isaiah 41:10. Fear not, for I am with you. These simple responses are not small. They are warfare. They realign your inner world with truth. And chosen one, take time to honor your energy. The divine purpose over your life requires a steady, rested, and nourished mind. Your body is not an enemy. It is an instrument. When you feel tired, rest. When your spirit feels overwhelmed, step back. When your creativity slows, breathe deeply and be still. Restoration is spiritual. Rest is obedience. Your calling will demand strength, but that strength is built through cycles of renewal, not exhaustion. Heaven is also urging you toward another important step. Structure your day with intention. Create small, sacred routines that anchor your spirit. A moment of prayer before you touch your phone. A verse before you begin your work. A breath of gratitude before you sleep. These habits reshape your atmosphere. They teach your mind to follow your spirit instead of your emotions. They turn ordinary hours into holy ground. Beloved, there is also a practical instruction Heaven wants you to embrace. Seek wisdom before decisions. Whether small or large, whisper, "Lord, order this step." Then notice what follows. A sudden hesitation, a gentle push, a quiet knowing. Destiny is activated through discerned decisions, not rushed choices. And chosen one, speak abundance over your path. Not merely financial abundance, but abundance of clarity, abundance of courage, abundance of stability, abundance of opportunity. Heaven responds to expectation. When you speak prosperity with a surrendered heart, you magnetize provision in the spirit. Now, beloved soul, before we move on, let your spirit participate in this moment of alignment. Write, "I walk with purpose," in the comments as your affirmation that you receive these steps with a ready heart. Chosen one, we now enter the deepest layer of this guidance, the place where heaven begins to shape not only your actions, but your identity, your posture, your spiritual authority. What comes next will anchor your breakthrough season and guard the elevation God is releasing over your life. These are not rules. These are spiritual technologies, practices that shift the atmosphere around you and fortify the atmosphere within you. The first is this: learn to move with obedience, not impulse. Impulse is noisy. Obedience is precise. Impulse reacts to emotion. Obedience responds to revelation. When heaven nudges you, the instruction will come with a quiet certainty. You may not understand it, but it will feel weighty, steady, unmistakably divine. When you sense that pull, lean in. Obedience opens doors that talent, effort, and strategy could never unlock. Heaven accelerates those who move when God whispers, not only when he shouts. Next, beloved soul, cultivate the discipline of intentional solitude, not loneliness, but sacred retreat, a place where your spirit can breathe without interruption, where your thoughts can settle, where your inner world can reset. In these moments of silence, heaven speaks loudly. Revelation rises, peace reorganizes, clarity returns. Make room for this daily, even if only for a few minutes. It is in the quiet that God rewrites your perspective and strengthens your sensitivity to his voice. Another step heaven is highlighting for you is strengthening your personal altar, the inner place where your devotion and your obedience meet. This altar is not made of stone. It is made of intention, consistency,